All right, we're back here at 9:13. The day's finally here. Today, the 2024 presidential election.
Polls have been open for early voting for a couple of weeks now, but today is your last chance to cast your vote. Duluth-based writer and podcast host Sharon McMahon is a passionate advocate for the power of voting and how to talk with others about the election, which we know can be a touchy topic.
It can be. She joins us via Zoom today to talk about why you should cast your vote. Sharon, hi. It's been a while. How are you?
I'm so good. Good morning. Happy Election Day.
Happy Election Day. Let's talk about the importance of voting. For folks at home, they go, you know what, I'm watching and it's raining and what's my one vote really matter? It matters, and you really encourage people to get out there.
It absolutely matters, especially because so many of the offices that directly impact your life are often decided on tiny little margins. We think about voting being only about presidents, but who represents you in the state legislature, who represents you in city council, maybe you have a mayoral race. These things all have a direct impact on your quality of life. And, you know, like the person who represents me in the state legislature won by a few dozen votes. So I don't think you can make any credible argument that your vote doesn't matter, because it really does.
Yeah, I think it's good that you pointed that out, because I think people think that because the national media has been so honed in on the presidential election and specifically a handful of states, you do hear that grumbling from people like, it doesn't matter who I vote for because it doesn't matter. But I mean, you're saying it does matter.
It does. And the other thing to remember is that the balance of power in Congress is also at stake. So who will take control of the Senate? Who will take control of the House of Representatives? Every single member of the House of Representatives is either running for re-election or they're running in a new race this time. So who controls Congress is also being decided today. And your vote absolutely does make a difference in those races.
Sharon, talk to us a little bit about, Chris and I were talking this morning about if the Walz-Harris ticket wins, what it means for Minnesota. Particularly, we're talking about the lieutenant governor right now. She would become the governor, and she would become the first female governor of Minnesota. Talk about this and the significance.
That's right. Minnesota has never had a female governor. We are, in fact, more than a century behind a number of other states when it comes to a female elected governor. It's a little bit surprising that we've never had one. But yes, if the Harris Walz ticket wins the presidency, presumably Tim Walz would leave office in January, although he certainly could resign his position sooner should he choose to. I don't know what he would choose to do. And then Peggy Flanagan, who's currently the lieutenant governor, would ascend to his role, finish out his term. So not only would she be the first female governor of the state of Minnesota, she would also be the first Native American governor in the entire country. She is currently the highest ranking Native American elected official in the United States, and this would just elevate that role to the next level as well.
Sharon, no matter how this all plays out, there's going to be some hard feelings between folks. People have been very passionate about the presidential election. You have some ideas for sort of how to have a civil political discussion with your friends and family.
I think it's really important for us in this moment to realize that this is not a war. This is not a zero-sum game. This is not a situation where in order for me to win, I have to destroy you. That is not how good things have ever happened in the United States. And even Abraham Lincoln, where people were trying to actively kill him, he's the president during the Civil War. Even Abraham Lincoln's position was with malice toward none, with charity for all, that you can absolutely hold your viewpoints near and dear to your heart, but that does not mean that we need to seek to harm and destroy our neighbors. That's not how we do it in Minnesota. That's not how we should do it anywhere in this country. But we need to remember that we all live in community with each other today and also tomorrow and later this week when we probably find out who the winner of the presidential election is.
I do think it's interesting, Sharon. I mean, did you ever think that we would be in a time where the federal government was sending in people to protect and guard election polling locations? I don't know. I mean, I kind of found that crazy because it's all of our right to do it. But when you talk about the fact that the country is so divided right now and the polling numbers show, you know, Trump and Harris so close. I mean, people are so divided and they feel very passionate about it. But I don't think I ever thought we'd be at a point where the federal government was sending in people to protect polling locations and those manning those locations.
It's a shame, isn't it? It really is a shame that that is where we are. Now, I understand why they're doing it. I do think it's very important to keep polling locations safe. Very important to keep our election workers safe. By the way, when you are out voting today, thank your local election workers. They are out here doing the hard work of upholding democracy. These are people that live in your neighborhood. These are people who are getting paid a very tiny amount of money to be here for a very long day. So be sure to be polite and courteous to them and say thank you for their hard work. So on one hand, I understand why we're doing it, because the right to vote is so important and we have to protect it. But on the other hand, it's a shame that this is where we have sort of landed at in the year 2024, not in 1864. In 2024, it's a shame that this is where we have ended up.
Sharon, I know you just got back from a book tour. You have a new book that's out. Before we run out of time here, tell us about the book.
Well, it went to #1 on the New York Times bestseller list, so I'm pretty proud of that. It's called The Small and the Mighty. It is about unsung Americans who changed the course of history. I just got back from a huge 15-city book tour around the country, including at the State Theater in Minneapolis. What a joy it has been to finally get out of my little house in the woods on a dirt road and to be able to see governors around the country in real life and be able to see their faces and meet them. It was a privilege.
Well, Sharon, thanks for your time. I know it's going to be, I'm assuming, going to be a long day, night, and morning for you. So we appreciate it. Good to see you.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks for having me.
And to learn more about Sharon's book and to follow along with her podcast, head to MinnesotaLive.com. We'll put a link there for you.